Well, Piers Morgan hasn't held back on Twitter, as he never does. The Sky News Australia host, who is fiercely loyal to the late Queen, has hit out at the New York Times over an article they retweeted about the cost of the longest-serving monarch's funeral. The Times tweet read, "Queen Elizabeth II's funeral, which will involve elaborate processions, vigils and rituals, will be paid for by British taxpayers as they deal with soaring energy prices and high inflation. The British government has not yet said how much it will cost." But that wasn't taken too kindly from Piers, who called out the publication for not understanding the magnitude of loss British people feel right now. He tweeted, "Oh, shut up, you clowns. You have no understanding about how we Brits feel about our great Queen, or you'd stop clickbaiting all this negative garbage." While the TV veteran has been an ongoing critic of Meghan Markle's antics over the last few years, he has been a loyal supporter of the royal family, especially Queen Elizabeth II. In a column published on skynews.com.au, Piers Morgan discussed how King Charles III is rising to the occasion under difficult circumstances. Piers wrote, "Imagine losing your mother after 73 years and having to grieve for her in front of the entire world, especially after losing your father just a year earlier. Then imagine having to instantly prove that you're fit to replace the greatest monarch of all time, that you have what it takes to be the king, that you're not going to be the comparatively mediocre, uninspiring dud that some malevolent critics have speculated for decades. Imagine having to bear this tremendous double-dose pressure with a gazillion newspaper, magazine and TV cameras from London to New York, Sydney to Mumbai, Paris to Tokyo, focused on every sinew of your face to every second you appear in public. From the moment we first saw our new king following his mother's passing, he has hit the pitch-perfect note time and again. And it was that first connection with his people during a walkabout outside Buckingham Palace on Friday that made me know with absolute certainty everything was going to be okay." Piers wrote about his interaction with Princess Diana a few years before she died, where he asked her if Charles would be king one day. She said that she thought he would be happier living somewhere like Tuscany or Provence. "Diana was wrong," he wrote. "All the doubters were wrong. The more I've seen of King Charles III in the past few days, the more impressive he has been, from his stirring address to Parliament to his supremely dignified vigil by the Queen's coffin in Scotland. This is a man wrestling with the weight of history and winning." Piers Morgan asked King Charles III's goddaughter, India Hicks, on his show whether Charles was up for the job.
I think what's interesting is he's so completely different to his mother, so that it'll be a blank canvas on which to paint his own picture, which is important. He will have a very strong queen beside him. We know that Camilla is a very strong woman. Look what she's survived already. And I think together they have a very good chance at doing an awful lot of good. And I think Charles has been vocal in the past about what he feels, his passions.
Has he got to keep his temper when his pen's leaking?
I think he is someone who is grieving. He is exhausted. He has had to be on show publicly every minute of the day for the past 5 days. Yeah. It's an enormous thing to undertake. I think you're allowed to have a bit of a temper tantrum when your pen leaks.
I actually thought it was quite endearing.